I've been realizing more and more in my conversations about trauma, because I find myself having a lot of conversations about trauma lately, given that it's the nature of much of the work I do. And I've been realizing how it's not as well known as I would like it to be that people carry trauma in their bodies. And so many people don't understand that what is showing up in front of them, whether it's their students or their clients or even their friends or family, might be somebody carrying trauma and having some kind of reaction to what's going on in the present moment. And so I want to talk a little bit about how that could show up and to share a little bit about something from my life to illustrate what I mean by this, if this is an unfamiliar concept to you. It's so important to know about this if you are holding space for others or facilitating experiences, because you might think that somebody's just showing up acting weird or odd or confrontational or in a mood, and really what's going on is they're trying really hard to be present in your space, and it's through the filter of the trauma that their body is carrying, the body memory of a past trauma that they are carrying with them as they show up in your space. So an example of this in my own life is in my early teens, I remember walking home from the bus to my house in the afternoons, and I still vividly remember the moment when I would put my hand on the doorknob. I can still feel the coldness of the doorknob. I can feel the size of it. I can see the color, the copper, brassy color. I can see the blue door and the glare of the window. I can see my reflection in the window as I'm walking towards my house. And in those steps up to that doorknob, I remember the feeling in my body. It was a combination of just heaviness, turning in my stomach, rapid heartbeat, and like a lot of contraction and anxiety. I had a lot of fear, and my mind would be kind of very rapidly going through what could be on the other side of that door and how I need to be as soon as I walk through that door, to put myself and whatever was real for me in that moment aside and just be vigilant about how I need to be in order to maintain a sense of belonging, a sense of love, a sense of safety. As soon as I would open that door, I didn't know what I would walk into. Would it be, something very frightening? Would it be a judgment of me? Would it be we're all going to pretend to be happy today? Would it be one of those looks that tell me I need to be hiding in my room very, very quietly, in fact, probably in my closet? Or would it be one of those looks that's like, you need to be down here with the family, participating and pretending like you're happy today? Would it be a look from my mother figure? Would it be a look from the father figure? I would have no idea what I was walking into because it was never, ever, ever consistent. And what I was supposed to do in response to those looks and communications, I never could get it right. And so when I am approaching a space, that still is in my body. No matter where I go, it's amazing how that motion, repeating that over and over again throughout my life at a really significant, impactful time in my life where I carried a lot of fright, a lot of shame, and a lot of depression that still lives with me. So when my body goes to approach a space, I still have that living in my body. And if I'm not aware of it, I can tend to look a little bit like I'm still a teenager, like I'm still 13 years old, not sure what I'm going to find and who I'm going to find and how I'm going to find them on the other side. And is it going to be welcoming? Is all of me allowed here? Am I going to know what to do? Is it going to be okay if I don't know what to do? I'm carrying all of that with me. When I walk into the door of a therapist's office, when I walk into the door of a workshop or a retreat, and if I'm not greeted with some things that for my system I need to know that I am a little bit safe or with some sense of belonging, welcomed, I will just stay in that teenage mode. I will stay stuck in the old trauma space. So part of why I do what I do is to really share with people that there are amazing ways to just create a welcome space right from the beginning, where folks who carry trauma can really begin to let themselves become present instead of living in the past. And that doesn't mean needing to help someone heal or fix them or figure them out, just to create a safe space for them so that they can start to melt and really receive what the facilitator or the coach or therapist has to offer. The other part of this is for you or for folks who are holding space. What's really important to know is that sometimes we think we're looking at something we know, and we really don't. And so it's an opportunity for compassion, for curiosity, for going, what do I have to learn here? For not taking things personally, and to begin to try on this trauma-aware filter of who is coming into my space, and however they are showing up is completely welcome. I don't need to figure out what's going on with them, but what would be great is to not make them wrong for how they're showing up, and just to hold a sense of compassion, care, and curiosity. Now, it takes us so far as people who hold space, and it also gets us out of our own way when we sometimes take it personally or need to caretake. We don't need to do anything other than really create a space in ourselves and in the environment where people can be more and more free to really bring their full selves, free from judgment, free from agenda. And this takes a lot of time. It takes, certain ways of doing things that can be helpful. But first and foremost, just starting to try on this lens, this trauma awareness filter, so that we can breathe a little bit better, and the folks who come to us can also breathe a little bit better.